Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of FEMME FLEX Friday. My name is Alina Popa and I'm your host for the day. And today we have these three beautiful athletes invited here and we're talking about the 2020 Miss Bikini Olympia top 3. And we have Janet Layug, Jennifer Dory and Achela Santiago. Welcome to our show, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And you know, I've been wondering since, I haven't been competing for 2 years, but obviously 2020 has been such a tough year for everybody. And most of the time I'm really interested on how did you girls pull it through with your preparation? Janet, what were the particularities of your situation? How did you prep?
Yeah, so first I want to say thank you for having us. And the last time we've all been together was on the Olympia stage in that weekend, and it seems like forever ago already. But so it's great to see all of your faces. And 2020 was just a killer year for everybody, just incredibly tough. Of course, with COVID and the restrictions, and that we all had to deal with, gym closures and adjusting to, 6 feet apart and mask and the cancellations of shows and the feeling of unknown, like, will I be able to compete, and trying to time your prep. That's really tough when you have shows canceled. You don't know if they're going to be on. And let's face it, none of us knew if we were even going to have an Olympia this year. Absolutely. So, thank God for the whole Olympia team, Dan, Jake, and everybody who was able to put it off. That was an incredible success for us to have that platform to be able to showcase all of our hard work. But again, it was tough for everybody. For me,
did you have your own gym?
So we had my gym that I usually train at, it was closed down for a period of time. So I had to make some adjustments in getting into my prep.
How did you go around? Did you do calisthenics? Did you prep at home? How did you prep during that lockdown?
So for a period of time, I was prepping at home in the beginning of my prep, and I had my bands. I was doing a lot more agility stuff and trying to find as much body resistance. And I don't actually have like a full gym like many people have, of weights, maybe a cable machine, and I don't have that. So I was really improvising the most that I can. And gratefully that my gym was able to open up, but of course with the restrictions. So thank God for that. But I do realize that many of other competitors didn't have that situation going for them. But I feel as though that, making those improvising at home, that really helped. You kind of like kept me engaged with mind-muscle connection. You had more time to really, the environment, you could focus on yourself and really, engaging your muscles that way.
Absolutely. That's a great thing, right? When you know that you have a goal, you're going to keep on going with your plan and make it work somehow. Jennifer, how about you? Did you have a gym to prep at?
So for the original prep that I had started to do, I was actually in Canada, so everything was closed for me, and I was just doing band workouts, and I had a few small dumbbells at home that I was using for, I think that was about 3 months. And I did end up buying a cable machine, which thankfully I could do the majority of my exercises on. And I did have a Stairmaster, so I'm grateful that I did have a decent amount of equipment to work with. But like Janet said, we all just had to improvise and adapt to the situation the best that we could. And I think for us at the sport that we're competing in, everyone kind of comes together and there's no giving up. So whether we had a gym, whether we didn't, we were all just getting it done to the best of our abilities and just making the best of it, because there's always something you can do is better than nothing. And that was kind of my mindset, just find ways to challenge myself at home, even though the home workouts get boring. And it's obviously tough if you're used to being in a gym environment, but I just did the best that I could to stick to a routine and make sure I got it done the best that I could.
I love it. That's the mentality of a champion, right? Achela, where did you train?
So in the beginning of my prep, I was in Brazil and everything was closed. I had like to improve a lot, at my home, doing actually how Janet told you was more like improvisation, like more some stuff like, I didn't have anything. It was more like trying to make my body work by itself. So it was hard, but I was so focused what I want to be, so it needed to be like very hard. It was hard, but you need to be like very focused what you want to do, But then I came to SA, like I needed to be in Mexico for 15 days in quarantine, so it was hard. This time was really hard, and there was everything close to, but I had a friend, and this friend had a gym, so thanks God I had like how to work out good, before I come to SA. And when I came to here, I was in Tampa for a while, and then the gym was actually open, so thanks God for that too. So yeah, the end of my prep to Olympia was actually in the gym, so I was glad to do that.
Fantastic. So, ladies, how was the 2020 experience, Olympia experience for you? Also, when we compare to the previous years, you've been on stage before while it was held in Vegas, right? So, if you were to compare, what are the pros and maybe the cons that you see when you make that comparison? Acela, do you want to keep on?
It was fantastic this year. Was great. It was the biggest, stage ever. I think Jen can say more about years, but I can say about like last year and this year, it was great. It was actually fantastic. It was changed a lot and incredible. I had like a fantastic, feeling on stage. So, and I was so glad that we had people there because, this year was so crazy. And actually, we almost didn't have Olympia this year. So I'm so glad to have so great stage on this year. You know what I mean?
We've attended quite a few shows that didn't allow public. And, we almost had like Arnold in the same weight, right? So yeah. It's... the fact that we could have about 3,000 people in the audience, I think it was fantastic for the athletes as well. What's your take on it, Jennifer?
I thought it was amazing. It was obviously a different venue than what we're used to, but I think the excitement of having something new especially with everything going on this year, everyone was just so excited to come together at that event, and having it at a new place just made it something new and exciting for everyone. The stage was just incredible. The production that the Olympia team put on was just... no words. It was amazing. The stage for finals was huge. It was a huge audience. I think everything worked out perfectly, and I really enjoyed it in Orlando. The only thing would be for curly hair, it was very humid. So that's the only thing. Yeah, but other than that, I really enjoyed it in Orlando, and I think the general consensus was that everyone really enjoyed it this year.
How about you, Janet, sorry.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Jen and Acela that, this year there was a lot of positivity and looking for a change with having the Olympia in a new location, new venue. We were kind of getting used to the whole, the Orleans, and it's been there for quite a while. I think with all the negativity going on with the year, it was something positive to look forward to. New environment, new change, and it was something to embrace. And I think, Dan and the Olympia team, they put on an amazing production, and the stage, of course, like they said, was the biggest. It's completely different from any other stage we had before. And I think many of the fans and people around the world watching on pay-per-view can see that. And that was an amazing call to have it on pay-per-view. I think it gave more outreach for people around the world to watch what we do and watch the incredible Mr. Olympia live on TV at home with their family and friends. So it was a great way to get them involved, and having it in Orlando, I can't complain because that's my backyard. I'm like 45 minutes away, so fortunately for me, I didn't have to travel so far. But regardless of of it being so close to me, I think the change was kind of needed. It was something definitely everyone was looking forward to, and having fans there, you know, because we didn't know if anyone would be able to show up, and with the COVID restrictions, it changes the level of the tone of this. You know, when you're walking out on stage and you hear those fans cheering for you, it's an amazing feeling, and it gives you that rush, that adrenaline, and, you know, so you can embrace and be on that stage and show your confidence. So to have fans there was amazing. And, you know, I'm just grateful that we had that platform to be able to, you know, showcase our physique, and, you know, having it on pay-per-view, I think was a great call.
Would you consider Ep4 Piscini's placing this year as an upset?
What was that?
Would you consider Ep4 Piscini's placing 6th this year as an upset? That's something that was a surprise?
You know, I think that we all kind of went through something really difficult, and, you know, you never know. With this year, it was crazy. However, we were able to deal with our prep for the entire year. And I know that some of the athletes had some challenges of getting to the States and being able to train and get their full training mode, or figure out what they needed to do in order to maintain or get the position that they want, the placing that they want. And, you know, I love Esa. I've competed with her many times before and traveled the world with her before. But honestly, in my opinion, I was really focused on me and what I needed to do. I mean, we all had a lot going on. And I was really focused on the improvements I needed to make, and getting with the feedback I got last year. Of course, you guys know it was 1 point between me and Esa. Yep. And for me, I was really focusing on what I needed to do. What did I need to improve on with my physique to bring to the stage that the judges can say, this is her year. This is going to be the Miss Bikini Olympia. So for me,
I want to know from Atila, since you're both Brazilians, are you good friends too?
Well, we actually had a good time together, but since the quarantine started, we didn't talk too much. So, I mean, it's a lot of going on, how Janet said. So, I mean, was like everything changed a lot, you know, everything looking, and we actually have no idea what's going on. I mean, I tried to be like whatever. I mean, I was trying to be like focused on my prep, and, you know, like we didn't talk so much. But I mean, how she said, like, I really think that the bikini division is really hard to judge, because the body is very unique, you know. I mean, the Janets have a unique body, Jennifer also. I mean, like, we are treated so different, but also so beautiful on stage. So, I mean, it's like too hard for the judging.
Thank you, Angela. And we'll be right back after this commercial.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
Welcome back to our show, guys. Ladies, it's so exciting to be here with you. And I was just looking at how you perform in 2020. And all three of you are on rising, right? Janet, you just got your first title. Jennifer, you're coming in second after being 5th last year, right? And Atila, you were 8th last year, and you're in 3rd place. So all three of you are shooting stars, right? This gotta feel like really good.
Definitely.
Like, definitely is a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
What do you plan to bring different next year? Jennifer and Atila, because Janet will have to answer a different question.
So for me, my feedback was not really to change much on my physique. don't gain any more muscle, don't get any leaner. This was kind of the perfect balance of fullness and conditioning. And in bikini, that's kind of the look that you strive for, is that perfect fine line of fullness and not being too hard or too dry, and then the right conditioning that you're still lean enough that you have nice lines, but you're not too lean for the division. So my goal is just to maintain the balance that I have in my physique, and I definitely feel I can improve my stage presence and posing. So that's kind of my goal, is stage presence and posing, and just bringing a worthy physique to the stage again.
Angela?
For me, yeah, it was actually almost the same. I mean, I had a little bit of hepatic leaks on my lower body, so that's why I just because I didn't sleep well last night before the Olympia day, but they said the same. They said that I don't need to change. I mean, I look incredible, and I need to just keep going. And I will try to be my best, how Jen said, that improve my posing and be my best on stage.
And Janet, the question I have for you is that what is the difference between the motivation you had when you've been placing second, trying to get first, and the motivation you're going to have now for 2021, trying to hold your title?
Gosh, of course, with, losing by 1 point, there was tons of motivation and to get that top spot. And honestly, I got to say, though, winning this year and with the judges' feedback right after the show, that when I came out on stage, it was hands down definitive, clear winner. Winning that way is so much more meaningful than, had I won last year with it being up in the air by 1 point, oh, you can debate that. So for me, that was so much that was so meaningful to me. And I, don't take that for granted, but it is being on top, there's tons of you got to stay motivated. You got to become the best. And I always have this mindset of there's always something you can improve on. I don't care if whether it's your nutrition, whether it's your training, your posing, your stage presence, all of it, any of it. There's so many things that make up with bikini to be judged on, that there's so many ways you can improve. And to come in your best, and of course, reducing any kind of stress that can be, cause your body to look off as well. But for me, my biggest goal, it's been my dream to become Miss Bikini Olympia, but now my dream is to become a 2-time bikini champion. And,
okay.
We haven't had one in a while, so that is my goal. And, you guys know me, when I set a goal, I strive for it until, I won't stop and can't stop with it.
That's fantastic. Well, I wish you to at least get as many titles as the runner-up positions you had, at least, because you had 3 runner-up, right?
3 tough runner-up, and, it proved to myself that, if I stayed committed, stayed dedicated, and, persevering through all the obstacles and challenges from, the 6 years of competing, that, one day, as long as I had that burning desire to get there, that I can do anything.
Absolutely.
And I think this year was a true testament to never giving up and proving to people in the world that, as long as you put your mind to it and stay, have that will, stay committed to it, eventually you will get there. You will attain the dream that you dreamed of and reach your goals.
I'm loving it. Absolutely. So ladies, are you ready for some fun questions from your fans?
Yes, we
bring it on.
Okay, somebody's asking each and every one of you, how much more do you weigh off season?
I can answer first if
okay. Yeah.
So for me, typically my stage weight is going to be between 126 to 128, but my off-season weight can be between 135, 138. So it's about 10 pounds plus, 10 pounds. But I try not to keep it out of, anything over 20 pounds. That's way too much. You want to keep it at least 5 to 10 pounds of stage weight, because it's a lot to, if you rebound that many pounds, it's going to be harder to get back into that stage weight.
Absolutely.
So something reasonable.
Stretching the skin and everything is much more harder right after. How about you, Jennifer?
For me, kind of similar. So my stage weight usually is about 124 to 125 pounds. And I try not to go much over like 10 to 12 pounds, just because for myself, that's what I feel most comfortable at. A little bit fuller, healthier look for me is comfortable, where I can have a little bit more balance in my life, but I still feel good and I still look good, versus going up too much and then you start to feel uncomfortable and you don't want to have the negative feelings associated with that. So I try and maintain within about 10 to 12 pounds for me.
Achala?
Well, on stage, I be usually like 128, between like 128, 127. And out of stage, I can get like 138, 139. It's like, I mean, I don't like to be much, so I will be like almost vomit. But then I keep like straight on my diet, still like without competing, you know what I mean?
And I have one question for Janet. Janet, somebody wants to know, what advice would you give a figure girl who wants to switch to bikini?
Oh, well, this is interesting because, you know, I've had actually quite a few girls who wanted to switch to different divisions, and it is hard that they are very different from training, nutrition, posing, the whole stage presence, everything is different about their very unique divisions. And bikini, it's all about the sass and, you know, bubbliness and the way we train. So there's a lot to learn about, you know, bikini and the overall, everything that is judged with it. But
I have the feeling she's pretty much asking you how to lose the mass, the size that she has. Yeah,
and to atrophy muscle is actually, it takes a long time to do that. You know, in that case, you would have to kind of like decrease your protein and train in a different style. As opposed to like, sometimes if you want to gain muscle, you're going to train heavier and eat more protein and more calories. With bikini, you're probably going to, you know, if you're on your way to that, you're going to have to decrease that, of course, to get that peak. And of course, the way you train, you know, bikini is very much, there's a lot of shoulders, you want that X frame, and the glutes are very important. I think with figure, they focus on different body parts and, you know, proportion and size. So there's a lot of differences there, but you have to understand that it would take some time to kind of atrophy with the muscle though. So keeping in mind that you can eventually get there, but it's going to take some time.
I have a question for Jennifer, and that asks you, what is the difference in the way you felt on your first NPC local shows and your last pro show?
My first pro show versus my most recent one?
Your first show ever. How did you feel on your first show ever as opposed to your last pro show?
Honestly, it's going to sound crazy, but I feel like the feeling is the same on stage. I'm still just as excited to be there. I'm still nervous when I'm getting on stage. And it's just a feeling of adrenaline when you're on stage that you can't even put into words until you've experienced it yourself. So I don't think that'll ever go away. My first Olympia, this most recent Olympia, is always just a feeling of accomplishment when you're up there. You know you worked so hard to get up to that stage. And only you know the work that you put in. Everyone else sees the final product, but at the end of the day, you're the only person who knows what you did behind the scenes. So just a feeling of accomplishment and
would you say that you were as confident in your first show as you were at the last Olympia?
Definitely not. I think my first show, everyone kind of, you're just testing the waters, you know, you don't really know what you're getting into. So your first show, you're really naive to everything, and, you know, you just go out there. And for me, I was super nervous my first show because I'm not someone who goes on stage or ever performed. So that was a big thing for me, but I've definitely gotten used to that now.
Achala, somebody is asking you, what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a lawyer.
Oh, a lawyer. Okay.
A lawyer. But I'm not working with these anymore. I mean, I'm a lawyer in Brazil.
Okay.
So,
what kind of law?
Actually, I was working for civil law.
Okay.
But actually, I mean, I don't feel more working with that anymore. And how everybody knows right now, I just came to SA, I'll be here. So now here I'm not law anymore, so I need to.
Of course. You know, so what do you want to do in the United States? What's your
Well,
ideal job?
I have a lot of think about these actually, but I'm going to make like workout programs, like work with people that want to change boards, like help people that they want to feel good. I feel so grateful when I see the people that change her body and say like, oh my God, I feel so good. So I feel good too with them too. So that's what I love to do.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure that you're going to be extremely successful at it.
And thank you for advising, because actually my Lord from you. So thank you so much.
Oh, okay, absolutely. We got to help each other. We're a big family, right?
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Janet, what's that one exercise that you always stay away from?
The one exercise that I always stay away from is doing any ab exercise with like heavy weights, twisting on the obliques. It's something that I don't want to ever widen my abdominals. So any kind of exercise that would widen the abdominal area in the abs is a big no-no, especially for bikini, and definitely like it goes against that X frame and having that small tiny waist that we want to achieve for the overall look. So nothing that would, I do abs, but nothing that would widen the oblique area.
Okay. Jennifer, what's that one exercise that you always have in one of your routines?
I mean, it depends on what I'm training, but I think probably something shoulders, because for bikini, like for me, getting my upper body to match my lower body has been a struggle for me. So shoulders, I train usually 2 to 3 times a week. So shoulders, lateral raises, you can't go wrong with. It's basic. Raises. It's a staple, yeah.
Yeah. Achila, what's in your workout bag?
Sorry?
What's in your workout bag?
Your workout bag.
You know, the workout bag, you go to the gym, what's in there all the time?
I can't work out without pre-workout. I need to be like so excited to do, you know what I mean? So I need, pre-workout for sure.
Okay, pre-workout. Do you have any bands?
Yeah, sure. When for glutes workout, for sure, I have my band.
How about belts? Do you wear a belt during your workouts?
How many belts?
A belt, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I also have a belt, so yeah, for sure. I have a lot of things that in my
We want to hear about them, all of them.
Okay, so yeah, my West training, my shake post training, like my pre-workout. So yeah, my bands when I have like glutes workout for sure. So that's the things that never will felt in my bag.
Absolutely. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Joe Weider's Olympia here in Orlando, Florida. A little bit strange coming out of Las Vegas for all of those years.
Good evening, and welcome to the event that nearly never happened.
There's been an absence of a particular group of people on this stage that are back tonight. Tonight I'm here to say, welcome back to Miss Olympia.
And we're back with Janet. Janet, I need you to tell me, what's your special ability?
What was that?
What's your special ability? Do you have a special ability? Yes, share it with us.
I do. I feel like because I'm a mom and I have to take on so much, I feel like and prepping, I feel like I'm really good at balancing multiple things, like multitasking. So, I mean, I've given birth during and going to college, like during a semester, and I was still able to finish that on top of having a family and other things going on, and being able to prep full time for like the biggest show of the year. All these little things, like, and managing work, business, and so many other ventures that I'm doing. I feel like I'm pretty good at balancing, and I think it's really important to be able to balance for success. So I guess I'd say that's my
multitasking, stress management, right? The right distribution of all your tasks in your life. That is a special ability. Jennifer, have you ever prepped, let's say when you're single and you live in your house alone, and have you ever prepped while you live with a partner? Which one is better and why?
I definitely think that it's such an individual sport, but at the same time, it's such a group effort. When it comes to everything, it's a collaborative effort. I've prepped both when I'm single and when I'm in a relationship. And at the end of the day, you're the only one who's going to do the work for yourself. Your partner can't eat your diet for you. They can't do your cardio for you. But having a partner there to support you and motivate you definitely helps a lot. So I'm super grateful for Mark Anthony, my boyfriend, because he's always in my corner. You know, since the day that I met him, he's been at every single show with me, right up backstage until I go on stage. And he's always in my ear telling me that, you know, I can do it even on my toughest days. So I think that having a good support system is key.
Well, I hope he knows how lucky he is, okay?
I remind him all the time. No kidding.
Exactly. Achela, what's your dominant color in your closet?
Oh, black for sure, but I love colors too. But I don't like some kind of fabrics like with too much colors. So I'm more black and more nudes. You know what I mean?
Me too.
So simple colors like black, white, nude colors, right?
Nude. I love nudes too. So you can be like black and white, but also nude.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, if I was to look on this color chart that I have over here, I'm going to tell you what black means, since you mentioned that first. It's a color of mystery. It's actually a lack of color. It covers, hides, and implies that there is a barrier. It is a strong and powerful color. It's formal, yet sophisticated, sexy, and secretive. Don't we all love that? That black little dress, right? Well, ladies, we want to thank you for being here with us today. This has been like a really great special episode, and I'm more than grateful that we can actually look a little bit into your lives, into your preps, into who you are. So thank you for being here with us today.
Of course, thank you for having us. It's good to see each other's faces.
Absolutely. You ladies are phenomenal. Thank you, guys, and we'll catch you on our next episode of FEMME FLEX Friday.